Welcome, everyone, to Warm Access Employment. Welcome to all the media and honored guests that are here today. My name is Irene Savonin, and I'm the Senior Director of Services and Organizational Development here at Access Employment. Since 1986, Access has been a leader in providing employment services and connecting highly qualified candidates with employers. Each year, we serve over 15,000 people and across our 5 locations in the GTA. We're a non-for-profit organization, and we receive funding from all levels of government, including the United Way and various corporate sponsors. This year, Access Employment celebrates 25 years of successfully serving the communities that we work in. The province of Ontario has supported Access all the way. I'd like to thank the Premier of Ontario, Dalton McQuinty, and Dr. Eric Hoskins, Minister of Citizenship and Immigration, and the Honourable Jean Augustine, the Fairness Commissioner of Ontario, for being here with us today at Access for a very special announcement. And now I believe I'm asking Minister Hoskins to come forward, all right, to make some remarks. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Irene. And ladies and gentlemen, it's such a pleasure to be here with you today for this important announcement. And we have a wonderful backdrop here with all of these success stories that we heard about earlier, but I'm very pleased to be here with the Premier at Access, with the Fairness Commissioner, Jean Augustine. There you are. Ladies and gentlemen, more than any Premier before him, Premier Dalton McQuinty understands the strength that diversity brings to this great province. And under his leadership, the Ontario government has made quite extraordinary progress in working hard to ensure that our newcomers are able to find work that reflects their talents and to find that work quickly. Today, we will be announcing, the Premier will be announcing further action to expand on that progress. So, ladies and gentlemen, Premier Dalton McQuinty.
Thanks, Eric, both for your kind introduction, for the great work that you are doing as our government's champion when it comes to ensuring that newcomers here to our province find all the opportunities and get the support they need to succeed and to achieve their greatest potential, because when they do that, that's not just good for them and their families, it's good for everybody in our province. I'm also really pleased to have with us today our Fairness Commissioner, Jean Augustine, who's been doing some great work for us as our Fairness Commissioner, and I'll be talking a little bit more about the additional responsibilities we'd like her to take on in order to help us make more progress. I also want to pay tribute to the people I had the opportunity to meet a moment ago who are working at these computer monitors, and those who have already graduated, in a sense, from Access and who have found opportunity. It's one thing, at the end of the day, for governments and fairness commissioners and for the great people who are working here at Access to create the opportunities, but it takes effort. It takes persistence. It takes diligence. It takes a solid commitment to lift yourselves up. We can put the ladder in place. We can hold it. We can make sure it's steady and it's strong, but we can't do the climbing. You've got to do the climbing. And we're very, very proud of all the effort that you are making on behalf of yourselves, your families, your communities, and our province. Every year, Ontario is proud to receive over 100,000 immigrants. We're the #1 destination for new Canadians in the country right here, and we're very proud to welcome those people. Immigrants are absolutely crucial to our economy. Within 3 years, Eric keeps telling me that within 3 years, Ontario will become entirely dependent on immigrants to grow our workforce. Since 2003, we've made it clear as a government that the old bargain is no longer acceptable. And I'll tell you what I mean by the old bargain. It was kind of implicit. It was kind of just understood. That bargain said, come to Ontario, Canada, and your children will find all the opportunities they need to succeed. We're changing that bargain now. We want a new bargain. The new bargain says, come to Ontario, Canada, and you will find all the opportunities you need to succeed, and more specifically, to be able to work at the level of your skills and professional training. That's a bargain that's better suited to our times, it's better suited to our economy, it better meets the interests of both our newcomers and Ontarians generally. So that's the new bargain that we're working hard to put into place. Ontario is, in large measure, a powerhouse, economically speaking, because of our internationally trained professionals. Now, we often hear about those folks who have yet to find success here and yet to get a job, but listen to this. These are numbers as of 2009. These are internationally trained professionals working in professions here in Ontario. Back in 2009, 34,000 teachers, 19,000 engineers, 16,000 nurses, 10,000 doctors, 4,000 pharmacists. So sometimes we focus on those who have yet to find that success, but I think it's important to recognize the successes that we've made. We're better than most places in the world at helping our internationally trained professionals work in their profession, but we've stepped up our support. Since 2003, we've invested more than $900 million in supports for our immigrants. One of the things of which we are very proud are our bridge training programs. And we've helped, here's another great number, since 2003, over 40,000 internationally trained individuals receive their license and gain work in their field in over 100 professions. Again, we tend to focus on those who have yet to find that success, 40,000. We also created, with Jean's help, global experience officers who've helped they didn't exist before, who've helped over 8,000 internationally trained individuals navigate the registration processes for various professions, and they're providing specialized information to these folks before they arrive in Canada. We deliver free language training to over 120,000 newcomers every year. We were the first in Canada to create a Fair Access Act and create the role of a Fairness Commissioner. Other provinces have followed. And on the question of doctors, that's one that's always very topical. Ontario offers 200 training positions annually for our international medical graduates. That's more than all the other provinces combined. And to give you a bit more context for that, today we're training 790 international medical graduates across all years of programming and funding versus 167 in 2003. So we've gone from 167 that year to 790 this year. Last point I want to make before I get into the substance of today's announcement, I just want to thank you, Irene, everybody who's working here at Access, your volunteers, your supporters, for the great work that you are doing. Thank you so much. You're working on the ground. Eric and I are just flying in and out of here like big shots. But the fact of the matter is you're doing the great work on the ground. We're very, very proud of that, so thank you for doing it. So here are some of the announcements that are specific to the next steps that we're taking together here in Ontario to better support our new arrivals in finding opportunity to work at their highest level of training. First of all, we found that some of our international medical graduates have too much experience to be required to go through a lengthy residency program. These people are actually very close to what they call practice ready. So instead of going into a lengthy residency, for which they are overqualified, they're going to go into practice under the direct supervision of other doctors who will help them fill in any gaps during a 6 to 12-month period, after which those international medical graduates can practice independently. So what this does is it shortens the time for international medical graduates before they can become fully qualified to practice here in Ontario, and it's going to free up spaces in our IMG program for other people to get in there, so it's a win-win. Secondly, we're going to enhance the role of our Fairness Commissioner so that she can review any proposed regulations prior to approval to help maximize opportunities for our international medical graduates. Also, she's going to review entry to practice requirements put in place by any of the professions, including the requirement for Canadian experience, which has proven to be, in some cases, troublesome, and we think there's more that we can do to get that right. We're also going to require that health regulatory bodies publicly post on websites any comments received from our Fairness Commissioner. And again, I want to thank the Commissioner for the great work that she's been doing. And in response to questions, Commissioner Augustine may want to speak to some of the progress we've made, for example, in working with our architects, in working with our lawyers, in working with our teachers. The last point I want to make is that we need a full, committed partner in Ottawa. The fact of the matter is that we don't have the same responsibilities that we'd like to be able to take on that have been already given to Quebec, Manitoba, and British Columbia. Each of those three provinces have greater control, more control over immigration than we do in Ontario. So far, the federal government is refusing to give us the same kinds of opportunities. More specifically, we want the federal government to devolve to Ontario the authority to administer, plan, and design our own integration and settlement programs for newcomers. We also want them to live up to existing responsibilities. They owe us, Eric tells me, some $200 million under an existing agreement. They cut us back by, what is it, how much for those? $45 million recently in cutting programs to our settlement services. So we're saying to the feds, hey, we want an equal partner. We want the same kind of arrangement that you've entered into with other provinces. We're proud to be the #1 destination for immigrants in Canada, right here in Ontario. We've made some great progress working together with Ontarians. We want to keep moving forward, but for us to take the next step, we need to be recognized, we're asking to be recognized as having the same level of maturity and commitment that you recognized in 3 other provinces. So that's the announcement for today, but I think at the end, once again, I want to take this opportunity to celebrate our newcomers who are working so hard, giving us their very best, helping us build up Ontario, the greatest province and the best country in the world. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, man. That's okay. Yeah. Thanks, sir. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. You're wonderful.
Thank you.
You're wonderful. You're the best backdrop I've ever had.